What is up and what's happening, Auburn fans? Welcome in to the 79th edition of Auburn Primetime Live. I'm your host, Blake Lane. And tonight we are here to talk about Alex Golish and him bringing back a traditional A Day, man. I'm extremely excited about this. I hope each and every one of you are just as excited as I am. I think this is phenomenal for not only the fan base, I think it's phenomenal for these players. And you get to go through spring practice and then showcase your skill set in an 8A game and really give it back to the fans, right? So I I, I want to talk tonight about 8A first, and then second. My second point will go into Alex Golish and how he's moving since he has become the head coach of the Auburn Tigers. So with A Day starting off tonight, I didn't like where college football was headed with spring practice and the A-Day games, the spring games, and you know, it was moving towards abolishing spring games, and I still don't know how much longer they're going to hang around, but for right now, they're sticking around, and it was moving towards abolishing them and just doing a practice and you showing up to watch practice. And that isn't what we have been accustomed to in the sport that we love for all of these years. We wanted to see what our team might possibly look like going into that season. And it's basically like you getting ready for spring practice, then your A-Day game where that gets you juiced. You're like in Jordan Hare Stadium. You're like, okay, only a couple of more months before we kick this thing off. And then after A-Day, you start looking towards SEC media days, right? And then after SEC media days, it's here. It's football is a full go. It's cranked up. And then the past couple of years, it hasn't been like that because you've had this thing where you've had two portal cycles and these coaches come out and they're saying, well, teams are tampering and they watch film of A-Day because it's nationally televised and they're plucking our players after they see them play in the A-Day game and they come in and they tamper and they say, well, we want you to transfer here and you can start here. And so now with the one portal window and it closes, there is no, you can have a great showing in the A-Day game and then transfer. All right. It is one window, it closes, that's it. And I think Alex Golish looked at it and said, hey, instead of getting all of these fans to come for a practice, let's go back to tradition and let's go play a game. Now, do we know what that game's going to look like? No, not yet. All right. Are some kids going to sit out of that game? Probably. Are some kids going to be limited in that game? Probably. But is it bringing excitement to the Plains? I think so. What better way than your first year head coach to say, hey, I want to show this fan base what I'm about. I want to show this fan base that I'm going to put a product on the field that you're going to be excited about. I don't want you to show up and watch us do one on ones and go through practice. And that's for us behind the scenes. I want to put a product out there in a game like manner. And you say, hey, I like what this cat's doing. I like how he's leading this program. I think it's a great move for Alex Golish. We can talk about the portal. I think he's doing a great job there. We can talk about him bringing A-Day back. I think that's another win. We can talk about the staff, how they're moving. That's awesome. We can highlight individual guys that he's bringing in, and we can break down their tape, all that good stuff. That's all awesome. But he has hit the nail on the head on everything that he's done so far. And this was a massive, massive deal to me for him to basically make a week out of it, right? And I think it's a big deal. Like they used to do A Day with the baseball weekend with it, but now it's not just we'll walk across the street and there's a baseball game. They're trying to make it like an A-Day week. So Friday, the April 10th, you have the softball team playing Alabama. You have women's tennis against Missouri, and baseball plays Kentucky. All right, and then Saturday, you have softball and then baseball, and then Sunday, softball, baseball, women's tennis takes on Vanderbilt, and then Tuesday night, April 14th, you have the baseball team playing their midweek against Alabama State, and then you get to Saturday at 2 p.m. You have A-Day. So he is trying to capture all of it, right? He's not doing just one day. He wants to do a whole week. And I think he has hit the nail on the head with that. I'm super excited about it. I know I'm going to be taking my son Levi. Hopefully, I can get my daughter Emma with me, and the wife can tag along, and we can have a nice little family trip up to the plains. And I'm really excited because it's Levi's first trip to Jordan Hare. It's going to be his first trip, and that means a lot to me, and I want to get him in there. And they're going to do Tiger Walk, and they're going to have the band present, so it's going to be a real game day atmosphere, and that is exciting. If you can't get behind that, man, after everything this program has been through with 5 straight losing seasons, back to back 5-7 seasons, Alex Golish is trying to do it his way, but he's also trying to do it the right way, and I can get on board with that. And I'm like I said, I'm extremely happy with how he's going about winning in the first season. Not this is going to be a project. This is going to be where we're looking 2, 3, 4 years in advance or looking ahead. This is, hey, we're trying to win right now, and I'm trying to kick this thing off and getting this fan base excited. And we're going to show you what we're going to put on this football field. So for the second topic I wanted to talk about, the On to Victory is doing like an Alex Golish launch, and I think this is pretty cool because not only he was the OC at Tennessee, he spent a lot of time in Florida. He was at UCF and then the head coach at USF. Um, we know he can recruit in Florida, but you have to make your rounds in the state of Alabama, right? And I think it's a big deal because we've been through a coach that wasn't good at it. He didn't even want to attempt to recruit. Then we went through a great recruiter who just absolutely crushed it, but didn't want to put in the time in season to prepare this football team. And now I think you got a guy that's moving on both. I think he wants to make his rounds in the state of Alabama, and I think he wants to put in the time in season. I think he's a really, really hard worker, right? And so extremely excited about Alex Golish. You can spend the evening with Auburn's new head football coach, Alex Golish. I got this from the Auburn football site. Monday, February 16th, he will be in Birmingham, Alabama at Regents Field from 5:30 to 9 p.m. Wednesday, February 18th, he will be in Daphne, Alabama at the Daphne Civic Center from 4:45 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. And then Wednesday, February 25th, he will be in Huntsville, Alabama at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. He's going from the tippity top of the state all the way down to the Gulf Coast, man. He is covering his tracks, and he is ready to get out, and he's ready to meet people. He's ready to meet fans. You can do a meet and greet. You're going to get a meal. How cool is that to be able to rock with Alex Golish for a night and meet the man that is going to be leading your football program? Um, I can't say enough about him. Ever since I watched that hour and a half long interview when he was the coach at USF, it just locked me in right then and there. I was like, man, this dude, he moves different. And that's one big thing he always talks about: be present, be where your feet are at, and work hard. That's how he was raised, was to work hard. Real quick, I wanted to pull this comment up and then we'll get over there. What was the Daphne date? The Daphne date was Wednesday, February 18th from 4:45 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. in the Daphne Civic Center, Miss Karen. Um, I'm honestly thinking about going to that one. Ticket prices, I think for one ticket, it was like $125. Two tickets together was 200, and that you get a meal. They're going to do meet and greets and things like that. I think that is a great thing to offer Auburn fans who are wanting to get out and meet this guy. I think it's tremendous. And, that's another thing about A Day is you want to get out to the stadium and with your family, with the people that love Auburn the way you do. And we were kind of getting that taken away from us, right? Like it just felt like it was getting taken. Hugh was really on board with not doing it anymore. He was totally against 8A games. He thought they were stupid. And I think the athletes were really getting on board with that. Like that, I don't think the athletes really wanted to play 8A games. I think they were just like, hey, I don't want to take the chance of getting hurt. I think it's stupid, whatever. Is Byron Brown gonna go out there and play all 4 quarters or however they do it? No, he's not. I think he might go out there and have a drive, maybe 2 drives, and then he's gonna hang it up for the day. But I think you're gonna get to see your starting quarterback for 2026 step out at A-Day and show you what he's got, show you what he's made of. Is he gonna be full contact? Probably not. All right. But he's gonna be able to show you a few things. And I think that's really, really cool. What's the Huntsville date? Tevion, it is February 25th. That is on a Wednesday at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Man, really, really excited about that stuff. I think it's awesome. Like this is something that we really didn't see, especially like people want to bash the G5 route. Like this is something that we didn't see with Harson. Like you didn't see players follow him and you didn't see him attempt to go out and try to win people over. You didn't see him make that effort. And I think Alex Golish is doing that. You saw it a little bit with Hugh, right? Like I think Hugh tried. I think Hugh had some knocks against him where I don't think people wanted to get to know Hugh or meet Hugh or whatever. Not trying to bash him like that, but it's just the knock that he had on him, right? I think people want to get out and meet Alex Golish and see what he's all about. And so I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I can't mention that enough. Can't harp on it enough. I think he's great. We just landed a transfer portal commitment. I want to get over here in these comments real quick. Not going to be on here super long tonight. We'll probably be back tomorrow night. I know I promised y'all a DB episode and some portal commits and all that stuff, but this caught my eye with 8A and the him traveling around the state, and I wanted to touch on it before I get back into talking legitimate football and players that we're adding to the roster. So everyone is tampering anyways. Man. Tavion War Damn Eagle, what's up, man? How are we doing tonight? Glad you're here. Miss Connie says War Eagle Blake. And Miss Karen says War Damn Eagle fam. How are we doing? Let's see here. Voice of Reason says everyone is tampering anyways. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like these kids are getting talked to regardless of an 8A game. They're getting talked to mid-season. You see guys going up and dapping up head coaches after games and all this, and they're sitting there having 2-minute conversations. And what do you think they're talking about? They're not talking about what's going to happen on Sunday. What church are they going to on Sunday? No, they're talking about, hey man, why don't you think about sliding over here and playing for me? I mean, you see staffers go up and try to cut off conversations because they're like, hey, you're not tampering with my guy. Everyone is tampering. They're doing it. They're doing it. And that's what I said about the whole grade thing the other night is these teams, these programs, they're not turning people down over credits or hours to get into the school or whatever. No, they're making a way. They're finding a way to do it. Because what was his name? Cardell Jones back at Ohio State. He said, I'm not here to play school. I'm here to play football. I'm not here to school. And I know a lot of people want to harp on that. Well, they're student athletes. Yeah, they go to class and a lot of them get degrees and stuff like that. But the key contributors, when it comes down to it, they still get degrees, but a lot of them are there for football and they're there to go to the next level. And a lot of these people ain't turning down portal commitments over grades and hours and majors, or we don't offer that or whatever. They're going to find a way to get you through. And so you got to do what you got to do in today's time. We got to that one. Let's see. My screen just Voice of Reason, War Eagle. How are we doing, man? Let's see here. I'm stoked about Bubba Mathis Jr. Yes, and Derek Marks's clone. Okay, okay. Let's see here. Your next comment was TJ Hendrick, offensive tackle, offensive guard, redshirt freshman from Ole Miss, just signed. Okay, he signed. Okay, okay. That's big time. Like, we can't talk enough about the trenches, and I promise I'm going to get to an episode about the trenches. And there's a lot to come out this weekend. I got a little bit of time this weekend, and so we'll hammer those home, man. I'm extremely excited about the portal additions, and I look. I gave my piece on the Cole thing the other night. I talked about that and how you shouldn't panic about losing two players, because I think Alex Golish knows what's at stake here. He knows that he said it. He said, "This is my this is my opportunity. This is my chance to showcase myself. I'm at a major program in college football, and I'm gonna get it done." And so when he goes out and gets a portal guy, that means he has went into the lab and he has done his evaluation, and he has said, "Hey, this guy can play for the Auburn Tigers." I don't think he's going out to get scrubs. I don't think he's going out to get commitments to pay people to commit and just so you can win an internet battle. I don't think he's doing that. I don't think he's doing that. What's up, Brad? How we doing, man? Kiffin trying to destroy Ole Miss. Ole Miss thinks he is behind the leak. Wow. Wow. I didn't even think about that. That's kind of crazy that they leaked the NIL earnings. That's crazy to think about, because now everybody knows everybody's salary. And once again, I always go back to, this is real life. Okay. This is real life. Like, these kids, if your job, at your job, if your salaries all got leaked, there would be some people frustrated. All right. There would be some people frustrated over pay. Well, this dude's getting paid this. This might teach some people some lessons. All right. Like, hey, how about you work a little bit harder? All right. How about you get in the lab and go train, go to work, go lift, go get stronger, go put on 15 to 20 pounds. Why don't you step up your game a little bit more? Maybe you'll get a little bit more money. Might teach some of them some life lessons. But as you see, some of them are hitting the portal. What they have, like 3, 4 guys hit the portal today? Out with the old and in with the new. Auburn guys not looking back at who exited. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. I don't even want to. I don't even want to. I had a convo tonight, and we were talking about some of the exits and things like that. And I was like, "Hey, I ain't pulling for them. I can tell you that. I ain't doing it." What leak? The NIL leak. Brett says NIL earnings. Yeah, somehow it got leaked through the Ole Miss facility. Yeah, crazy. It wasn't long after the leak that players started to enter the portal. That's insane, man. It's insane. No, just Ole Miss, Miss Karen. I think that's what people are saying is like Lane. That's just a rumor, but like Lane is behind it to get those guys into the portal. Okay, Voice of Reason's got a question for Tavion. Um, man, that I still can't wrap my head around that one. That because it looked like all the momentum was going towards Ole Miss. Obviously, they're still waiting on Trinidad, and I think they're gonna end up giving him another year because my thing with Trinidad is if you let Diego Pavia get another year, then why aren't you doing it for Trinidad? To me, do I want to see Trinidad come back to Ole Miss? No, we play them next year. I don't. We play them in Oxford. I don't want to see him come back. But do I think it's right that they're telling him no? He got turned down. Nah, because you're letting Diego Pavia play this long. Why can't you let Trinidad Chambliss play this long? So it's all over the place, man. It's all over the place. Um, just college football is wild. It's out there. So, um, look, I appreciate each and every one of you tonight. Like I always say, man, the subs are growing. They're getting out there. I just wanted to do this little short episode to talk about Alex Golish and how he's moving with the Auburn football program. The excitement. I think everybody should be excited about A-Day, the A-Day week. You know, it's a week now, right? Like we're all getting hyped up. Going to be at Jordan Hare Stadium, man. Looking forward to it. If you could, just please like this video, share the video out on social media, and keep subscribing, man. I thank each and every one of you. We're growing every single day. And like always, I'll be back tomorrow night. But like always, it's War Damn Eagle, baby. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow night. I'm out.